What do you get when African and cutting-edge technology merge together? Wait, I will go first. You will get ballistic or even something more exciting like nuke or hypersonic technology. Why? I think you forgot where they came from. Their ancestors, the Tartaria. The offspring of Tartarian civilization is gaining momentum, and in 2025 it's happening. Yo, I am Dr. Cool. Something far more devastating than an earthquake is about to hit the Western world in 2025. It won't be felt through trembling ground or collapsing buildings, but its shockwaves will tear through industries, economies and governments with a force never seen before. It is not a war, not a financial crash, not even a pandemic. It is a technology so disruptive, so mind-boggling that it will either be the most dangerous thing ever unleashed or the greatest gift to African in the last 100 years. This is the moment Africa has been waiting for. A moment to shake the foundations of global power, a moment to land the uppercut that sends the world's economic titans crashing to the ground. And at the center of it all is a man. A high school dropout from Africa. Something remarkable emerged, a glimmer of hope, a beacon of innovation. His name I choose to withhold for security concerns. However, for the record, we will be sharing video clip of this innovations before the end of this video. This man is not a name you'd find in your average science textbook. No fancy degrees, no billion-dollar research labs. This is a man of the people who is rewriting the British company called Nigerian to work for Nigerians, a man with a vision. He dared to dream of a world free from the shackles of Western outdated technology, free from limitation and gimmicks dependence. Ensure you watch this video till the end, as we will be revealing deeper secrets of Western suppression of the most feared ethnic groups in West Africa. This are the pillar of African industrial hub. If you have heard, give them a desert and they will turn it into a bustling city. You're about to know firsthand before anyone else why they are so feared, not just by the West-bit Asians and their boundary-bound Africans. There is a young star, a rising sun set in the city of Aba, his invention. A mystery shrouded in intrigue. Some whispered about AI smartphone that cooked the likes of United Nations, likes of Apple, Samsung, Huawei, and all mobile phone manufacturers you can ever think of. Except another jaw-dropping, groundbreaking invention of phone from Namibia that doesn't use SIM card. Yes, you heard me right. Others spoke of its monumental capabilities and features enough to make MI6 and 007 jealous. The details were sketchy, but the implications were clear. This technology is set to offset everything. Forget your smartphone, the new kicker on the block is intelligent phone. This phone looks like something from Tartarian civilization or extraterrestrial dimension. Here is where this gets crazy. This innovation is not coming from Silicon Valley, not MIT graduates or Harvard, no billion-dollar research labs or facilities, not even from Western or Asian world, and this time from a continent in Africa. You heard me right. Nigeria is a continent inside Africa. It's been more than 50 years. The Western movie, blockbusters and Western industries have been teasing their customers with holographic smart devices. Someone invented a holographic smartphone from Nigeria that left Western and Asian phone industries look like gimmicks. That video is for another day. You think you know Africa? Think again. The African city that built a smartphone scared the hell out the West. Why? As it takes lots of meticulous process and knowledge to build a smartphone, print the PCB board, do the programming, knows what each chip does, and perfectly soldered the chip to the printed PCD. It is more like rocket science. The West has been guarding this knowledge for far too long, and today, something unexpected from the most feared race on Earth landed the uppercut that sends the Western economic titans to the ground. Not in California, not in Korea, but in the city Western media never mentions. This is the final nail in the Western tech coffin, and the world is about to find out why. They're called the Aba in Abia State. Located in the eastern region of Nigeria, they are part of the Igbo ethnic group, a civilization so feared they were once bombed for being too independent. These are the Biafrans you've heard whispers about. They don't ask for permission, they don't wait for aid, they don't care about your Western degrees. They build, they create, they export genius. Shoes, they make them. Textiles, they sew them. Cars, your infamous engine block. It's recipe for breakfast for people of Abba, they build them. Here is the kicker. This young guy didn't just design and built smartphone from scratch to finish. He came with the whole buffer, including doing the dominoes effects, teaching other young students on how this technology works. He called it open source. That is the ultimate uppercut that will finally cut off millions of tech suppliers Nigerians have been imprisoned to import, consume decade after decades, thanks to Mr. Peter Obi on his powerful speech during 2023 election. A presidential candidate who said the magic word that sparked this industrial revolution. He said, and I quote, "I will change Nigeria from consumers to producers. Let that sink." However, since he the system plug pullers couldn't let him do as he said, young Nigerian who trooped out in millions to vote for him didn't forget his speech. They are cooking a revolution. They're now leading it. If you want something built to Italian or American standard, you go to Abba. But here's the catch. They do all this with zero infrastructure. No stable power. No high-speed rail. No massive factories. Just vision, sweat, and ancestral intelligence. So when I heard they built a smartphone from scratch, I wasn't surprised. I was expecting it. In a small workshop in Abba, A group of young innovators created what Silicon Valley couldn't, a fully functional smartphone, not assembled from parts, but designed, engineered, and manufactured from scratch. Motherboard, built casing, crafted, interface, designed, functionality on par with top-tier phones without Chinese or Western parts. This isn't a clone, this isn't wishful thinking, this is real innovation, made by Africans for the world. Simple. Because they fear the Igbos. These are the same people who, during colonial times, refused to be ruled, who resisted foreign control, who almost created the first black superpower during the Biafran War. So when the West sees Igbos building tech, running the Nigerian economy, inventing their way into the future, it's a nightmare for the old world order. Children run workshops, teenagers innovate engines, adults build empires. No MBA, no startup capital. Entrepreneurship is not an option. It's their survival. It's their culture. It's in their DNA. The average Aber craftsman has more practical knowledge than most engineering graduates. Give them metal scraps, they'll build a generator. Give them a spark, they'll light a city. A symbol that Africa doesn't need saving. It needs space. That innovation isn't Western, it's human. And Africa has the purest form of it. That's why this phone is a threat to the global tech monopoly. If Aber can do this with no resources, no government backing or grants, what happens when they get infrastructure? Think about it, they will go ballistic. What if Aber becomes the next Shenzhen, the next Detroit, the next Tokyo? It's not a fantasy, it's already happening. Because if you know about Aber, what makes Aber Industrial Hub a better alternative to China? Quality products at affordable, you will be shown premium quality and good quality, so you choose. This is something China couldn't do. If you understand the power of Igbo innovation, then the whole Africa is backward lie collapses. That's why Western education ignores Biafra, why they suppress Igbo history, why they fear the return of Igbo-led tech power. This isn't just innovation, it's a geopolitical earthquake. They didn't wait for validation, they just built the future. And the world had no choice but to watch. When they say Africa can't innovate, show them the smartphone made in eastern Nigeria, made by the descendants of Biafra, made by a people who never stopped fighting with their minds. In Aba, Nigeria, something monumental just happened. They built a smartphone, designed, engineered, and assembled from scratch. Watch this video clip, and I will be back shortly after this video clip.
This is a smartphone, and yes, we designed, assembled, and programmed it here at the lab. The phone is built around ESP32 chip, which comes with 520KB of SRAM and over 30 configurable GPIO pin, lots of peripherals for connectivity, and 4MB of flash memory. For default communication on our mobile phone, we use SIM 868, which support GSM, GPRS, GPS, and Bluetooth communication. The beautiful thing here is that the SIM chip supports 2 SIM slots, which makes it flexible for use. For the visual interface, we use a 240x320 TFT display, which supports screen touch functionality and can be programmed onto our microcontroller via SPR. These 3 main components are the building base for our hardware integration in our mobile phone. And with this, we kickstart our design for a mobile phone that can call, message, and do pretty much everything a phone can do. We started this project over a year ago, and this was bettered after we built upon so many of our client proposals for solutions that cut across its features like call trigger system, SMS, GPS tracking, radio, and many more. So we thought of fusing all these features in one PCB and programmed them to run as a mobile phone. For the first part of the build, we started by integrating all the functional parts of the schematic diagram, which include the sensor circuit, the keypad, the SIM circuit, and many more. Next, we drafted the shape of our board while referencing an existing panel. The idea is to help us constrain our mobile phone to the size of available phones in the market, and hence we designed the board layout on our software and started component placement. With calculated dimension, we form our PCB keyboard layout, which is done on the first layer of our 4-layer PCB. The rest of the components were placed at the 4th layer, which will be the phone back, and with this done, we started routing. For this procedure, we have the top layer as our signal line, the second layer for ground, the third layer for 3.3 volt line and critical power lines, and the last layer which support the rest of the signal with adequate ground plane. Completing the routing process, we exported our design for production and have the board looking like this. Days later, our manufactured board arrived and we reviewed them for confirmation of the design, and everything looked as expected. We started assembly, and with the soldering paste, I applied solder on all the soldering part of the PCB. With this done, I started component placement. After I completed this, I carefully placed the board on our preheating station and power it up. Around 180 degrees, the soldering process started, and I ensure all components are in position. And after a few minutes of cooling, I remove the board and inspect the soldering. For the first test, I will check the charging system. Powering with the lab-based power supply, the indicator lights turn up, and measuring the voltage, I got up to 4 volts, which is well enough to charge the battery. To run the face code in order to test the board, I wired the PCB to program it via our external UART board. Uploading a simple blink code, the blue LED begins to blink, which shows that the board is responsive. With this result, we now move ahead to the next test, which is to test the sensors that are connected via I2C. The result worked out great, and next in line will now be to interface this reading via the display. Applying a soldering paste on the pad, I carefully soldered the flares to the board. Now, it's time to test it as I upload a simple test code. With this test code, I was able to interface our company logo, and with this, we are now ready to start writing the phone's firmware. To aid the process, I will start by integrating the keyboard for the phone. I placed the control key first and soldered them, and I also did the same for the rest of the keys, coupled with the resistor network which aid us to detect which key was pressed. With that done, I used a transparent tape to cover the keypad. I uploaded our keypad debugger code to our phone, and with this, the phone can identify which key that was pressed. With all this now completed, we uploaded our mobile phone firmware, which supports some of the functionalities we want to test. While this process was going on, we started a model of our phone enclosure on Fusion 360. We did ensure that there is high level of tolerance in between the enclosure and the PCB, and to achieve that, we measured all dimensions and duly noted them. Here is the final phone model, which works as per program. I can access the menu, message, call, and pretty much all the rest of the menu the phone houses. In the meantime, we are working on other sub-menus and other integration which we are testing, as well as the user experience and the user interface. With the current UI UX, let's make a call. I can choose to use the contact list or dial a new number. Using the save contact, let's call my phone.
Hello, yes.
Okay, is it ready to talk? Just keep the camera before quite close. So,
Yes, I can hear you.
alright, so and the call comes, let's see the face. Oh, okay. Alright, so the call comes in here and then you can receive and it comes in here, but I need to use the headphone. Alright, so you can call the call. It's amazing to see that I can call, talk to anyone via this mobile phone. Next, let's enter into the message menu. Since we haven't completed the configuration for the alpha keys, we loaded a default message which I can set from here. So here is a demonstration. I have this message option and I open it and then send it to this number 090 and you just input the rest of the numbers. And here we are, the message we received. Apart from this function, we can test the touch, which will need me to toggle through the menu to access it. With this, I can now turn the touch on and off. The hardware menu helped me to run a troubleshoot on the hardware integration, which you can see all the reading ranging from the phone accelerometer, gyroscope, real-time clock, and master 105 sensor. I'm considering to use the sensor as a finger lock for our mobile phone, As you can see, it detects my finger when I place it, and also it detects it when I remove it likewise. We are currently developing a lightweight operating system for this phone, as we're already planning version 2 of this build. So much more has gone into this, ranging from resources, time, troubleshoot and planning, and this is one key project that we know that we can pull off, and even more, as it takes great input from the team here at my Embedded Tech Lab to pull this one off. We are rounding off our first firmware soon, which will cover both game, radio control, internet access, and many more. We can't wait to share this with you, as we appreciate your input and feedback. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Do have a blissful day.
Now, you've seen and heard the genius speak. This is assembling of parts. This is a homegrown technology. Here is the bunker. He is training many more. You become genius like him, building next generation of African disruptive technological innovators and game changers. This isn't just another gadget. It's a revolution. The West, they're rattled. This is a direct challenge to the status quo. Aba's phone is a statement. Africa can innovate, and it can do it better. No billion-dollar Silicon Valley budgets, no global headlines, just pure ingenuity. No wonder the West are fighting tooth and nails to avoid providing a level playing field between Africa and the West, as they already know and scared of what's coming. The Tartarian incantation footprint is kicking it. Footprint causing digital earthquake and impact that will court digital mud flood. And this time the target will be the other way around. This is about power shifting, about a continent rising up and saying, we can do this. The transformation of ABBA is miraculous, and this smartphone is their crowning achievement. It's a symbol of hope, defiance, and a future where tech isn't just made in the West. The old tech giants never saw ABBA coming. Now they don't know what's hit them. This isn't just innovation, it's a bold move from an underdog. ABBA's phone represents more than a device. It's a declaration of bold statement of breaking shackles, of condemning Africa to producer of raw materials that powers the technology of the Western world. The world's tech map just changed, and this is only the beginning. To understand ABBA, you need to know the Igbo people, fiercely independent, resilient, and endlessly inventive. Their history is one of overcoming adversity, wars, blockades, hardship. But the Igbo don't just survive, they innovate. During the Biafran War, cut off from the world, they built their own refineries and weapons. They proved they could stand on their own no matter the odds. That spirit is alive in ABBA today. When they see a problem, they don't import a solution, they create one. This drive to make, not take, is their secret weapon. Innovation isn't a footnote here, it's the main story. From makeshift machinery to sophisticated electronics, the thread is unbreakable belief in their own abilities. ABBA's smartphone is just the latest chapter in a long history of resourcefulness. It's the modern face of the Biafran spirit. Necessity bred invention then. Now it breeds transformation. This is the DNA of ABBA's success, and it's why their achievements are just getting started. ABBA isn't a sleepy village, it's an industrial powerhouse. Often called the Japan of Africa, it's a city of makers. With little government support and unreliable electricity, they manufacture everything: shoes, textiles, machinery, and now electronics. Small workshops and bustling markets are the heart of this ecosystem. Don't be fooled by the humble tools. The skill and determination here are world-class. They reverse engineer, improve, and produce at a fraction of the cost. This is raw entrepreneurial spirit, not charity. ABBA's can-do attitude means they fix, build, and innovate on their own terms. Self-sufficiency is their cornerstone. The scale of what they achieve with so little is staggering. ABBA's industrial network powers not just a city, but a region. This is grassroots industrialization at its finest. Let's be clear, this isn't a knockoff. ABBA's smartphone is designed and built by local minds, from circuit boards to software. The intellectual property, the design, the innovation, it's all homegrown. They didn't just copy, they created. This is a quantum leap for African tech. Building a smartphone from scratch shows a mastery few thought possible here. If ABBA can do this, what else can they build? This is about capability, not just a product. It's about owning technology and creating an ecosystem of innovation. The skills gained, electronics, software, supply chains, are game changers. This phone is a symbol. ABBA is here, capable, and not waiting for permission. It's a proud moment for Nigeria and Africa. Old stereotypes are shattered. Genius can emerge from anywhere, and ABBA just proved it. ABBA's breakthrough, the West's reaction, silence. Not because they don't care, but because they're scared. This disrupts their dominance and comfortable narratives. Big tech and their governments want Africa as a market, not a competitor. An ABBA that builds its own phones threatens their profits and control. For centuries, the West dictated the tech story. Now an African city is rewriting it. That's unsettling for the old guard, so they ignore it, hoping it'll fade. But the genie's out, and it's holding a phone made in ABBA. The silence is strategic, a last-ditch effort to keep control, but the world is changing, and ABBA's achievement can't be hidden for long. In ABBA, entrepreneurship is a way of life. From kids selling sweets to master craftsmen, everyone's an entrepreneur. This isn't sanitized, venture-funded business. It's raw, gritty, and effective. They don't wait for jobs or permission, they create. The city is a living ecosystem of innovation, fueled by millions of sparks. Skills are learned on the streets, in markets and workshops, not in business schools. The Igbo apprenticeship system turns novices into skilled artisans and business owners. This culture of learning by doing is powerful. It breeds resilience and a deep understanding of commerce. ABBA's smartphone isn't just a product, it's the result of a culture. This spirit is what makes ABBA revolutionary. Why is ABBA's phone a threat? It's not just a device, it's a precedent. If ABBA can do this with limited resources, what could others do with more? The tech giants thrive on control and high barriers to entry. ABBA just kicked down the door. The current market is dominated by a few companies who set the rules. An African-made phone challenges that entire structure. It proves you don't need billions to innovate. This is about breaking dependency and achieving technological sovereignty. The skills and confidence gained here can transform other sectors, medical devices, education, energy. ABBA has shown the capability is there. The West is nervous, not about the phone, but the awakening it represents. A technological David has landed a stone, and Goliath is feeling it. ABBA builds a smartphone, and Western media says nothing. If a Silicon Valley startup made a new paperclip, it'd be headline news. The silence is deliberate, a blackout. Western media follows the lead of governments and corporations who aren't thrilled by ABBA's success. The story doesn't fit the narrative of Africa needing help or Western tech supremacy. It's an inconvenient truth, so it's buried. Stories of poverty and conflict reinforce old stereotypes. But a story of African triumph? That's dangerous. It might inspire change, demand respect, and challenge the status quo. This lack of coverage is an injustice, but the internet changes everything. The story of ABBA's smartphone is too big to stay hidden. People will share it even if the mainstream won't. ABBA's achievement isn't a one-off, it's the dawn of a new era. Africa is stepping into technological self-determination. ABBA is leading the way, showing what's possible with ingenuity and grit. Imagine cities across Africa, each a hub of innovation solving local and global problems. African tech companies could soon rival the world's giants. ABBA has proven it's possible and ignited a spark across the continent. This is Africa's moment. Talent and potential finally recognized. The ABBA smartphone is a wake-up call. Look at us, see what we can do. It's about pride, identity, and a new narrative written by Africans. The youth are watching, inspired to build on this legacy. Don't let this story fade. Share it, celebrate it. The rise of ABBA is a global story of hope and resilience. The future is being forged in Africa, right now. Let the world know. Spread the word. This is Africans' turn to rise and shine, reign supreme like your ancestors, whose technology remains a mystery to the Western world, who claimed they knew everything. Rise, O Africans, for your time is now. Now it you will excuse me. I have a flight to catch and a self-powered car to drive. Don't forget to subscribe and heads up.